Welcome to another episode of Navigating Growth, where we showcase companies that are doing new and unique things. My name is Sal Imami from Better Call Sal, and co-hosting with me is Kevin Hooper from Hanging with Mr. Hooper. Why is it so difficult to find clothing that just fits right? Most retailers only fixate on size, but that's only part of the equation. The same size from one brand to another brand fit very differently. What if we were able to shop based on the shape of our body? Well, that way you would know that piece of clothing fits you perfectly. Additionally, it would also help retailers optimize their inventory. So our guest today has done just that. Her company has built software that identifies your body type so you know that piece of clothing will fit just right. To tell us more, I'd like to introduce Amy Wister, the CEO and co-founder of RevShopp. Amy, welcome to the show.
Sal, Kevin, it's
So-
great to be here. Thanks for having me.
What is RevShopp?
When consumers are experiencing an e-commerce event, like they're going to go shopping for clothes, women in particular, men have this problem too, but our maiden product is specific to women. They approach the retailer with only size in mind, and they filter by size and color. What happens in that scenario is we end up with two females, exact same size. These two females could both be a size 8. And they're trying to search just based on that size. These two females wear completely different silhouettes. So if a retailer had an opportunity through technology to automate the intuition of a personal stylist such that these two gals would receive a unique, curated product feed that were the items that were most flattering for their body type in their size.
What's the origin story? How did you come up with the idea that this was going to be the problem that you were going to form a company around and apply technology to?
My very first job was at the Limited Corporation. I was a sales associate in their store, and I would over time watch women come through the threshold of that store, and they would be walking towards a specific pair of, at the time, pair of pants called Outback Red pants. And I would know intuitively that female shape was about to take the wrong pants into the dressing room. And I would go across the store to the Forenza brand and take a separate pair of pants and offer it to the female as they were going into the dressing room. So that was something that I learned just by nature of being a sales associate. I had no idea at that time that later in my life it was going to translate into a business model. But the genesis really, it started there. And over the years, I was continuously asked by my girlfriends, would you shop with me? And I always used that same intuitive methodology. And again, didn't even know that I was doing it. Until one day I was shopping with a girlfriend and she said, you need to turn this into a science. Shopping can be so much easier. I eventually took the plunge.
Walk us through what the last number of years have been like for you in developing this idea.
Our initial business model was to provide the methodology for shopping by your shape and licensing it to stylists across the country. And we did that. And we touched about 3,000 women. And those 3,000 women were the people who said to us, it's really great when I'm working with this team of stylists. And they would say, but it's so hard for me to do this when I'm shopping online. Can you fix that? And I didn't have an engineering background, so I didn't know if I could fix that. But I figured, well, I've got an MBA. I know a lot about finance. I had already been groomed at Intel and then had outside sales experience. There's no reason I couldn't figure this out. I just need a couple more humans around me to get this done. So I partnered with a wonderful platform architect who's still with the company today. And we, set off to determine, could you automate the intuition of a personal stylist? And if you did, could you scale it? And so far we've done that. And it's been an amazing journey.
So tell us, what kind of partnerships have you engaged with? And which one of those partnerships have worked and which ones haven't?
The first partnership that was the most important in this business model and continues to be the most important was the partnership that I developed with our platform architect. Without that partnership, that human relationship, we would not have RevShopp. I have partnered with other humans along the way, and some of those partnerships have been brilliant, and some of them have had a good time that had a obvious closing to them. And I've partnered with other humans that very quickly we discovered it wasn't the right partnership at all. So I would say, looking at the ecosystem of partnerships, a lot of people think or believe like immediately the answer to this question is a business partnership. And sometimes some of the best partnerships that you're going to have are actually human. From a business perspective, the partnership that we are most ignited about right now is an emerging technology partnership with Salesforce. Salesforce identifies young companies, sometimes that don't even yet have a product that could be deployed on a Salesforce platform. We were in that camp. And they foster a relationship with that business. They join in partnership with that business. They help that business earn whatever it is that they need to earn to build a product that sits on top of Salesforce's platform to sell to Salesforce's current customer base. In our case, Commerce Cloud, which is a Salesforce product that is pushed out to e-commerce retailers. And our solution happens to marry really, really nicely with their menu of emerging technologies.
So I want to postulate a situation where you have access to a time machine and you can go back in time to when the company first was created, was born, but you had all of the experience that you've developed over this time. What would the advice be that you would give to yourself back then?
Don't worry about capital. If you have the right product and the right timing, you are going to have the right capital. Sometimes you think things like, oh, I right now need $2 million. And then all of a sudden you wake up 2 weeks later and say to yourself, well, wait a second. Do I really need $2 million right now? Do I need $2 million at the valuation that I'm at right now? If I was in that time machine, I would go back and not worry as often about the money and probably raise less. The other thing that I would do is I would listen to my gut. So intuition doesn't come with data. Intuition is one of the greatest gifts we have. I mean, if you think about parental intuition, the intuition between you and your sibling, right? I would go back in my time machine. If I was in the time machine, I would go back and I would say, damn it, Amy, you need to listen to your intuition right now and don't pay attention to the data.
Just to summarize what we've heard in this interview, first of all, what I think comes across, Amy, in everything that you say, in every sentence that comes out of your mouth, is the passion that you have around solving this problem for the marketplace at large. From your initial inception to you personally doing it in a very human way, and then realizing, based on some of your experience, some of the jobs that you've held, that technology could be brought to bear to automate this, to bring that experience to a broader audience. That's what comes across in spades. The second thing, which I think is absolutely true, is the partnerships actually begin with that most simple of commodities, which is humans. Humans getting together to solve problems together with shared values, shared approaches is incredibly important. And then building a company that's based around technology, getting access to the other human that is going to bring that technological expertise to help you is important. And then lastly, the twofold advice that you have. One, don't sweat the capital as much. That if you build it, they will come. But also this notion of intuition. It's interesting. I had an old boss once who said, I like people that make big bets because they work harder to make sure they come true. I think there is an element in intuition of, if you have that passion and you see something and you know you can solve it, and this comes across with you, don't take your human element of yourself out of that notion and trust yourself. I think that's incredibly important. And I think it comes with a lot of the very special set of people like yourself that are founders that come to building startups. So, Amy, thank you very much for sharing your story with us today. Sal Amami from Better Call Sal, thank you very much. And for everyone who's watching, this has been another episode of Navigating Growth, and we'll see you next time.